Welcome, everyone. I'm Michele Cobb, publisher of AudioFile magazine, the #1 source for audiobooks in the world. And I'm so excited for today's conversation with the narrator of more than 500 audiobooks, Dara Rosenberg. Notably, Dara lent her voice to the 2020 Audie finalist title Evidence of the Affair. And today we're going to be talking to her about her role as the voice of the urban fantasy series, The Undoubtable Rose Beaufont, written by Sarah Noffke and Michael Anderle. We're so excited to have you here with us today, Dara. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
I know that the latest book in the series, Book 10, Witch Slapped, made its debut on September 24th, and books 11 and 12 are due to release later this year. Can you just give our listeners who might not be familiar with this series a quick summary of the universe and a little bit about this undoubtable Rose Beaufont?
Absolutely. So, this universe is quite the extravagant universe. It is full of witches and giants and everything that you could imagine in a world. She threw it in there. She is actually, Rose is a half magician and she is a half mortal, which is called a halfling, and she's the first of her kind. And basically, she's struggling because the witches have had an outbreak and they're basically terrorizing the whole world. And she has been given the task of getting rid of all of the witches. And she's a young girl that didn't even know she had magic growing up. So it's a lot. And she's thrown so much responsibility and she just takes it and she knows what to do. And it's pretty amazing going through the journey with her of figuring things out while she's figuring things out.
So one question I have, because we are talking about the series, and I wonder, do you need to start from the first book, or can you pop into book 9 or 10 without needing the background?
So here's the thing. I've actually been doing the Sarah Noffke and Michael Anderle Beaufont series. This is my fourth or fifth series with them. And within each series is 12 books, and all the characters are from the first series still there till now. You don't need to start on that first series to be able to go right into Rose Beaufont, but I do think you need to start with book 1. Like, I think you'd start on book 10 and be like, "Where is she? Who is she? Who's this talking dragon in her shoulder? What's going on?" So I do think you would need to start with book 1.
All right, that's a good tip for listeners. Thank you. So tell us, since you're doing these series, how do you prepare, especially when you've got this rich and intricate world, because these are fantasy. And so, how do you get into understanding the lore and finding the relationships between the characters in this new and interesting world?
I truthfully think the writing is so good that and the humor in it is so good and so much like mine that it's sort of a seamless process, if that makes any sense. That the conversations between herself and her sidekick Elvis, or herself and her father, they feel so real and natural that when I was preparing for it, it almost felt like I knew what to do while I was reading it. I could feel it together already. So it wasn't so hard to figure out their relationships. Also, a lot of these characters, again, I've been with for 6 years. So, I feel pretty strongly aware of who they are and things like that. So, that was the process of preparing has gotten easier and easier with each book.
Yeah, it must be nice to stay with something and to really be able to fill out this full universe. That's a lot of recording.
The truth is at the end of each series, like at the end of the last series, which was Paris Beaufont, I was so nervous. I'm like, "Is this it? Is it over?" And then there was Rose Beaufont, and now there's 2 more books left to record, and I need them to make another series because you can't just leave me. I it's been 6 years, you know?
Well, it's always nice, I think, for authors to hear that the narrator is as invested as they are. Very cool.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
So, how do you approach bringing Rose Beaufont to life through your narration? I mean, you have to consider that she's starting as a young woman and then becomes this very powerful witch hunter.
Yes. So while I am 37 years old, and that is young for some people, I still think I'm 22. So being Rose Beaufont has been very easy to be a 22-year-old. am young, I'm naive, I'm still excited about the world and discovering things every single day, so I like to think of myself as like a 22-year-old girl, so that helps a little bit. She didn't know her father growing up. She didn't know magic existed. She didn't know about magicians. She didn't know anything. So her discovering that as the book goes on and as the series goes on, it helped me discover it with her. If that makes any sense with the narration. It kind of grew, so it wasn't all at once.
I love the idea that the person who is narrating the book is discovering the words and discovering the journey. That's really lovely.
Right, right, absolutely. And every time a new character comes on, she's discovering that character with us. So it's easy. It's not something that's super super hard to do. Of course the voices are hard because there's a thousand different characters and a thousand different voices, but I think that the intention is there, so I can just get behind that and it helps a lot.
I have to say, that's one of the things I really like about the series. I just finished listening to The Mysterious Daughter, and all those different characters really make it fun. There is such a sense of humor to it that I didn't expect when I started listening.
Right, and that makes it real, these are real people, real Chinese red dragons, real, giants. Just to her, it's real, so if it's not real to us, then the narration wouldn't work.
So it sounds like this has been pretty easy and fun, but there must have been some challenges. You've got all those magical elements, you've got this intense action that happens. So, how do you deal with those challenges and how do you keep it engaging for the listeners?
Well, truthfully, there's so many, like, fight scenes and there's so many energy scenes that it's physically exhausting, that sometimes I'll be done with a chapter and I'll be like, "I'm so tired." And that's the only way to keep listeners engaged is if I'm physically involved in it, and I always feel like if there was a camera on me while I was recording, it would look ridiculous because my arms and my it just because I have to or else it falls flat, if that makes any sense.
So, what do you do when you've had a really exhausting chapter? Do you take a break? Do you lay down?
If I lay down, I'm not getting back up, so I can't lay down. I just, like I take a minute, I drink some water. I need a second to get back in, but sometimes the adrenaline's going so I can go straight for the next one.
Excellent. And can you share any particular moments or scenes that were really memorable or enjoyable to narrate? And give us a little background about why those stood out for you.
Okay. I'll tell you one thing. There was a series with Liv Beaufont back in the day, and she is Rose Beaufont's aunt, and I was with Liv Beaufont for 2 years as the main character, so now she's back, and in one book, I have to go check which one it was, they basically go on an adventure completely together, so I have both these 2 strong leads that I feel so strong about myself, and that was fun because they're both so different. I thought they were so much more similar, and I guess the background is that they're trying to find a time gap, a time stop to stop time that the witches are trying to stop time, and just them going on a full adventure together because they're both specializing in different fight skills and different magic, and the whole time they're both using things that make them basically kick butt is pretty strong, and the women power is just wonderful.
I love it. So it sounds like because you worked with these authors for a while, you probably have a relationship with them. I wonder if you get to ask them questions or interact with them in any
I
way?
actually don't, which is really sad. I feel like I know them very well, and I would hope that they feel the same way about me. But I think I did a podcast back in the day, like 5 or 6 years ago, with Sarah Noffke, who's one of the authors. And she really liked that I took, for example, a character named Rudolph and made him this crazy voice she never even thought he would have, but now she's like, "That's his voice." And she's really given me the power and the opportunity to do what I interpret and what I want, which has been a blessing for me and my job.
Well, we certainly hope that beyond the Rose Beaufont series, there's another one coming for you. It's nice to.
Please. Yes.
Yes.
Let's write. Get to work.
Well, we so appreciate you taking the time to give us these insights into this. I wanted to call it an intricate audio program, but it's sort of more than that, this intricate audio series, really. So thanks for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me. I love talking about these books, and I really want the Beaufont family to continue because I think there's so many people that reach out to me all the time. I get emails and messages saying that they really connect with the characters. So that means a lot.
Well, and that's a testament to the good work you're doing.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
And thank you to Dreamscape for helping us create this episode. I invite everyone to visit AudioFile's websites for reviews and sound clips from thousands of audiobooks, including those from the Undoubtable Rose Beaufont series by Sarah Noffke and Michael Anderle, and performed by today's guest, Dara Rosenberg. Witch Slapped actually released earlier this week, so be sure to take a look and listen for that. And while you're looking and listening, be sure to take a moment to rate and review this podcast, Audiophiles Behind the Mic, so you can help others find us. Thanks for listening.